when you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. They wasn't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no slut. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. The delivery? I like girls kissing girls where I'm from, and that's on the radio. Girls on girls, that's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery?
Today, I'll be watching a video called The Most Concerning Things About the Black Community. Let's get into it.
Whether it be our crippling culture, crumbling cities, or chaotic crime, we need to reevaluate what's going on within the Black community, because honestly, I feel like the solution is right in front of us. Let me tell you, growing up as a Black man in America has been very interesting.
Oh my god, guys, that's him as a baby. I think he makes such great videos. I love his editing style, and these images they're so beautiful individually, the way how they're laid out. Okay, let me continue.
From hating my skin and my hair, to loving who I am today, and from hating this country with a burning passion, to traveling abroad and understanding why people immigrate here in the first place, I've learned a lot.
I wonder what he's learned about immigrating to the US, because I immigrated to the US.
I found some interesting overlaps that I want to talk about.
Video after video, from murders to vandalism.
Most of those are young Black victims. 72 people were shot in one weekend.
Police brutality. Listen, I'm not here to tell you that all police are amazing and nothing bad ever happens to the Black community. What I am here to do is to share with you a new perspective. Does police brutality matter? Yes. Do cops get away with police brutality? Yes. Do we want to strive to get to a place where police brutality is reaching all-time new lows? Yes. I'm all for the changes and initiatives, but we need to get realistic with how bad the problem already is. Because what's frustrating to me is that we have a ton of Black people who genuinely think that there are thousands of young Black men getting shot and killed by the police every year.
You guys know how many unarmed Black men were killed by police last year?
No.
It's all about the narrative that's pushed all the time, over and over, in front of our faces, that we begin to believe it. Fear is a fucked up thing, okay? And when you tell your child the world is dangerous, they're going to harm you, of course, when you come to interact with this thing, being calm, cool, collected is awesome, but then it's like, they're just gonna kill me. I feel like when you begin to expect the worst of people and you just think about that all the time, like, of course that moment will become more of your reality than anything else, you know? Because everything else is like fighting for you to see differently.
No, I know people.
To guess, what would you say?
Over 1,000?
Over 1,000?
I say a good, probably 1,400, about there. Too many to count, probably.
That's just not the case. If we're looking at 2022, 12 unarmed Black men were killed by the police. And I'm well aware this is a little bit of a different scenario, but I bring this up.
I would have expected more too. I ain't gonna lie. I would have expected more too. I ain't gonna lie.
What's crazy is that in 2022, while 12 unarmed Black men were shot by police, 19 people were struck by lightning and died. That's how rare this is. There are more people routinely getting struck by lightning and dying than Black unarmed people are being shot by the police. And yet, even though we have these numbers, you have people blocking traffic and saying all cops are bad, when in reality, you're more likely to be in danger walking down the street in the hood than to be dealing with any white cop at all. And that's just the truth.
Even though he's talking, I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm like, where you get your facts from? I don't believe you. For some reason, I just don't believe it. But is he telling the truth? Is he telling me the truth right now? Because this is a story that's said over and over and over again that, unfortunately, perhaps I do believe the story. Shit. Whose kids are these? What is going on? Why? There's so many things I could say, but I'm not going to, because kids are precious and this is crazy.
It's sad, but I low-key understand why they feel the way they feel. I understand why a lot of Black people despise the police and our youth is being raised to just not respect them. I hated America to its core because of the false narratives that the media was pushing. I felt like I had a target on my back and that the police hated me just because I was black. And when you're being told that an entire group of people who serves the government, who's supposed to be protecting me, actually hates me and wants to kill me, that really messes with one's mental health. I mean, hell, the media wouldn't dare show you footage of our troops overseas getting shot and killed on TV, but what they will show you is black people getting killed on live TV. It's actually messed up how much the media is playing with our minds and society.
I was saying this in a different video of mine, like the media can be so abusive. Oh yeah, I was saying that. Watch my video about the teacher in North Carolina who got caught up with an 18-year-old in the park. I know you guys are like, oh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. But like, it's actually bad. It's against their law. Watch my video and you'll learn more. Whenever people, black men do harm on TV, black people of certain socioeconomic background do harm on TV, they always are showing the dangerous stuff. Like people like dying, ugly freaking photos. You are like, these people are criminals. You don't see no family, no love, no nothing.
Truly, I just wish more people, specifically black people, looked at the data for what it is. Again, I'm not saying all police are amazing and nothing bad ever happens, but compared to how our reaction is, it doesn't really match what's going on. Community crime rates.
Studies, statistics, and surveys all say that black drivers are far more likely to be pulled over than white ones. They're also more likely to have guns pointed at them by police, to be detained, handcuffed, searched, and arrested.
The harsh reality is yes, this is all true, but damn, let's take a look at our community as a whole. Who is making up most of the crime? Who is making up most of the robberies? Why is it that people that look like me, black men, make up roughly 6-7% of the US population, but commit nearly 50% of all the murders and robberies? We talk all day about being the minority, but we make up majority of the most heinous acts of our society. We need to take accountability for that. Black people have killed more black people this year alone than white cops have killed black people in the past 10 years. Yet I'm supposed to be sitting up here crying about the white man and hating police. It doesn't make sense. And then I listen, and then they're gonna say, oh, well, bringing up black on black crime is deflecting. No, it's just the harsh reality. I'm addressing it for what it is. Takeoff, P&B Rock, Young Dolph, King Von, Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, X. All these rappers dead, and by who? Black people. Where's the line between being racist versus looking at the data for what it is? Context matters. It sucks being profiled, it really does, but we haven't taken into account how the people who look like me act in our society. We're out here demanding to be respected, but we don't even respect ourselves. Community behavior.
Some breaking news off the top. Hundreds of teens flooding into downtown Chicago tonight, smashing car windows, trying to get into Millennium Park, prompting a major police response. Within the past few minutes, shots were fired.
This video is very rich, I ain't gonna lie. This isn't just black people, this is an entire group of people, very specific community of people. Yes, it's often pushing a certain ideology, but I feel like black people have a lot of trauma, so sometimes when they like having movement around that trauma where they're calling for some support, call of action, something, there is some violence that is expressed, which is often dangerous.
This is how we're acting now? Really? We get slapped the label all the time of being rude, ghetto, entitled, loud, thieves, thugs. The list goes on, but look at us. Are they wrong? Honest conversation.
Look at me.
Are they
look at
wrong?
You.
Hell,
are they
these
wrong?
lootings and teen takeovers non-stop. Who is doing it? Who is doing it? Look at the videos. Look at all across the United States. Who is doing it? Obviously, I'm not in the crowd. And there's a plethora of black people who are not in the crowd. But when we look at the consensus of all these crimes and heinous acts, it's not looking cute for black.
I feel like black people are always easy to point out in a large crowd because the crowd is already crowded and darkened, you know, by the crowdedness, especially depending on the lighting. But yes, white features pop out. I feel like when you're like mixed, you know, have a certain undertone, it can be hard depending on what you're wearing. So I'm not saying that, like, again, it's just black people that was doing that. It sounds like it was very much so center, but black people be doing some petty crimes for real though, so I can't defend this all the way, but I'm just trying to say that it's not all of them.
We're already such a small segment of the society, but for some reason, when we get together, it's always trouble.
The city of Miami Beach declared a state of emergency over the weekend after a deadly start to spring break. 2 fatal shootings and some out-of-control crowds also forced the city to impose overnight curfews.
This is the 3rd year in a row Miami Beach has taken emergency measures to control a surge in visitors.
It just blows my mind. It's like a meme. Like when black folk get together, none of us know how to act. It's the unfortunate
Lit as hell. Get that party turned up. Turn that party up. I can't even.
There's no excuse for this behavior. It's a complete lack of structure within the black community and the homes we're being raised in. We've got deadbeat dads that are not around, hello, including myself.
Ah! Wait a minute. He's... This is so funny. What is that, Teddy? Is that Teddy? He's holding Teddy in his hand, being like, oh, Teddy and Daddy's gone. He said including myself, but he's so cute. And I'm sorry your dad's wasn't in the picture. Definitely isn't in the picture. I cannot see this man.
And then we have emotionally unavailable mothers who are too busy working trying to provide to the child to the point where they can't even raise it. Got all these kids in the schools listening to all these rappers and horrible music. Little boys looking at people like Blueface who's performing in high schools.
For real, bro. For real, Blueface is performing in high schools. Like, what? I don't know who's raising these kids, but sure as hell not me, because I ain't got no kids. But basically, Blueface in the school building. And her kids are not knowing how to read very well. But Blueface is in the school building.
Looking at the rappers like Future, who Juice WRLD accredits his fatal drug addiction to.
You always had issues with drugs even before you started to get famous and rich?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was something that I was into early, low-key, due to music. Because, like, I was a music head, so, like, in 6th grade, 7th grade, I'm hearing songs about sipping lean. Those are, like, the real influential years, I feel like.
Yo. That's crazy. This should be more popularized. That's so traumatic. Like, that's literally what we're talking about. Like, the music that you were putting back into the community, it's like telling kids to like do harm to themselves, low-key, you know. It's like, yeah, it's the music, it's lit, like I'm here dancing too, vibing, you know, but like not everyone can handle these things mentally. Like that's why there are laws. Sometimes laws are good, because 6th grade, 7th grade, what is you talking about? Where's your parents? Where are you getting this lean from?
I'm out of town, thugging with my round, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Ooh.
And women like Cardi B, the women who made WAP.
Says certified freak, 7 days a week.
Yeah, her who's getting brand deals from Baby Shark.
Got here by doing things my own Sharky B way.
Like, our behavior has gotten to the point where even corporations are fleeing the neighborhoods.
This is very, very confusing. What am I supposed to do? I like Cardi B, I think. I don't know Cardi B. The music is poppy and I like to dance. I don't know. I like the Sexy Red song is everywhere. The kids are eating it up. The white kids, the black kids, the Asian kids, they eating it up. I'm eating it up sometimes, but I understand that it's dangerous. I'm telling you, the mind is too fragile sometimes. And the news be reporting on this crazy ass shit, and people be fucking thinking this is what they should normalize all the time. Like, everything is not going okay with the kids. Okay? Something needs to change.
That it's closing 9 stores in major cities next month because of theft and organized retail crime.
First, a developing story. Walmart announced today it is closing 4 locations throughout the city.
Walmart even said this in a statement. They said, the simplest explanation is that collectively our Chicago stores have not been profitable since we opened the first one nearly 17 years ago. These stores lose tens of millions of dollars a year, and their annual losses nearly doubled in just the last 5 years. If I go to any Walmart in the hood, they all look like this.
I don't know, the Walmart I've been to, they don't look like that at all. And it's not like it's in the hood or anything. It's just, I don't know, they just don't look like that.
No, it's not because of racism and being in a predominantly black neighborhood. It's because the black people won't stop stealing. And if it's not stealing, all it takes is for one white cop to shoot one black guy, and that gives them some random excuse to just go loot and tear down the whole thing.
He said, it just go loot and tear down the whole thing. That ain't just black people. A lot of people shop at Walmart. This ain't a black only's Walmart. Look at these American ass flags. Like, who do you think brought these American flags? Not black people, if that's your argument, but
Black Lives Matter. During 2020, we saw some of the worst looting possible. And for what?
These people did this for no reason. It's not gonna bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. And last night, I'm gonna be honest, I wish I was where George was, because this is ridiculous. These people are tearing up our livelihood. This
is why I pay no attention to Black Lives Matter. The least of my concerns as a black man in America is white people. It's white people this and white people that all the time for no good reason. We have got to do better. Black Lives Matter raised nearly $100 million in 2020, but where's the money? What has changed? What has improved? Please tell me in the comments and let me know. If a white cop shoots me, it's Tagamir Odom, but if a black man shoots me, it's
crickets.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if a black man shoots me, it's And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying organizations like Black Lives Matter can't exist. I'm just saying the amount of attention they have versus the things actually impacting and affecting the black community, it's not matching up. Again, we want all this respect, hell even reparations, but we don't know how to act. Reparations. What happened with slavery is absolutely awful. Everybody agrees with that. It was just a bad time. And we can acknowledge this history all day long, but we cannot let it distract us from the present and the future. My ancestors' trauma cannot be healed with a check, nor do I need one. I can entertain the idea of living victims getting a check and getting reparations, but we're too far gone from that. Has our government been responsible for horrible racist acts? Yes. America's not perfect, and I'm not saying they are. But we have to ask ourselves, in what world do we actually need and deserve reparations when all we're doing is tearing down our own communities? Looking objectively within the black culture, black community, how we act in race relations within the United States, how is money going to change anything? The whole reparations argument to me is a complete distraction. It will not help the atrocities that are facing the black community, of which are often inflicted by ourselves. Instead of uplifting each other time and time again, we trap ourselves in these little boxes, making sure that we keep our black card.
People don't really understand how we sometimes communicate from an emotional perspective. You know, some of our rage is quiet, some of our rage is loud, and then it fluctuates on this range of quiet and loudness, and then people are left confused, and then they label a certain way just because these emotional ranges can be quite extreme. But people just don't get it, and they do need to understand that sometimes people need to be equipped with the tools but also the support needed. But when does the individual take their lives into their own hands?
Out of line. Self-isolation. We live in this free country, but our mindset is still locked down. Growing up, myself and countless other black people were told, you're talking white. Why are you listening to white people music? Why are you eating white people food? This drove me so far into a depression personally, because it's like, damn, I'm just never good enough. I'm being told white people are racist and they hate you, but I'm also being told that I'm not black enough to hang around the black kids. It's just like, damn, I can't win. We want to be free and accept.
No one ever told me that. I think I was trying to tell myself that, and then I just began to limit myself. But who told you that, Amir? Like, people be telling shit with their eyes too sometimes. They be like, who do you think you are? But it's really like, some people are genuinely interested, and when you're having a certain experience, they simply want to be like a part of it, but it's like intriguing and they don't know how to communicate that.
We're the first people to exile and bully anyone that is black for thinking different. Why are you listening to white people music? Okay, cool. So because I don't want to listen to music with pill popping, killing people, and shaking ass, all of a sudden I'm not black enough and I'm getting exiled?
It's a joke.
The ghetto. And it's gotten to the point where even Joe Biden recognizes this behavior within the black community.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Joe Biden bright and facey. Joe Biden bright and facey. Yo, I think these white people are crazy. Sometimes you be getting all comfortable with them king, and it's all good, telling them about your pains, your struggles, and the next thing you know, they're throwing that shit in your face. Whap! Who do you think you are? I'm better than you. I'm blacker than you. I don't know. It's not really like that, but that's how Joe Biden made me feel for a second. It's like, you cannot be blacker than me. Who gives a crap if I be flip-flopping between you and Trump? Who gives a shit-ass shit? This world is a flip-flopping crass hole, okay? It's like confusing, okay? 1 minute you gay, 1 minute you straight. Like, 1 minute it's this, 1 minute it's that. Like, let's live it up.
He's completely disregarding any black person who's not a Democrat. Why can't black people be Republicans? Why can't black people be independents? Why do we have to stick to the narrative and stick to the script that whoever has laid out for us, and that's just the rule book?
What you need to have is some critical thinking skills, okay? Just be able to determine if this is what's right for you, and if ultimately this is what works for the community that you want to be a part of. Yeah, I get it. You can live whatever life you want to live and do whatever the hell you want to do, but if people are struggling to be with you, especially people that you say you care about or want to care about, then things aren't aligned. Things are not aligned, and it gets very confusing. And yes, it's going to be a very confusing situation where the person's like, are you for Trump? Are you for Biden? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, what do you want?
Damn, when I'm looking at the black communities that are predominantly Democrat across our entire nation, it's like, why do we keep voting for the same things time and time again, but they're complaining about nothing's ever changing? That's insanity. Insanity is just doing the same thing, but just expecting a different result, but you're not gonna get that. Why not try something different? Why is that so bad to do? It's just this monotonous state.
Hey guys, you should try something different by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Subscribing to my YouTube channel.
And what we fail to realize is that we have all the tools necessary to be the change we wish to see in this nation. We cry and cry for change and progress, all while not changing at all. We just sit there far too often and view ourselves as the victim. Victim mentality. It is time to stop blaming everyone else but ourselves for our lives and our actions. I damn sure can't help what someone does to me, but I control 110% of how I move forward. White man this, racism that, enough. I promise you, the second you start focusing on yourself, your goals, your dreams, tunnel vision, and move forward, the faster life will progress for you and the happier you will become.
Yeah, he's right. But like, racism is real. It's not a lie. Like, it's a journey, okay? It's a serious journey. It's real. It's real shit. These are people's opinions, their beliefs. This is how we navigate society. And let's not deny it, but the better we become at just focusing on ourselves, the better the world works. Absolutely. I agree with that.
We set back and accepted this narrative that yes, black people will always be behind and white people will always be ahead of me. That is because I didn't have a father in my life. That is because 400 years of slavery and oppression. That is because the white man's always ahead of me. That is because I didn't go to the best school. That is because of everything else except for me. It can be so easy to throw in a towel, but you cannot allow yourself to do that. The solution. We have got to be the change we wish to see. Generational wealth this, generational wealth that. Build it. Build that wealth. This year in 2023 is the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and there's nothing to show for it.
Hip hop has been around for 50 years. Not a single hospital, not a single school, not a single bank, not a single supermarket, not a single distribution company. How can we call hip hop a blessing to the black community when
he said, what has hip hop has to show? Let me tell you what hip hop has to show. Hip hop has to show for Jay-Z, okay, the Renaissance tour, what else we got? We got Drake, we got Nicki, we got Tupac, we got Biggie. Oh, but let's not talk about Diddy, because that's a whole nother rhyme and a whole nother place that we don't want to go down. We might get lost in the haze. Let's get focused. Back to Dr. Umar when things are getting like old school days. Why not?
That type of money being made off of our culture and the community doesn't benefit from it at all.
We've accomplished so much as black people, have become so rich, and where is these investments at? Why is our community still like this? It's because of the culture and how things are progressing, and no one's really trying to change it. We have to remember, we are our ancestors' dream. I am my ancestors' dream, and you've got me figgity up. If you really want me to sit here and sit back and think that I'm living in the same America that my ancestors are living in, let alone my grandparents were living in. This is a different time, new era, and it is the best time for any black person to really go after it and prosper in this nation. Oprah,
I believe it.
Michael Jordan, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, yay.
I'm sure Jay-Z have helped many people who've gone on to do great jobs, hopefully. And Oprah, I mean, Taraji P. Henson is having a little moment with her right now, if that's real and it's serious, because it seems a bit complicated.
I know I'm still black. To this day, I still get profiled. I still deal with racism. I still deal with all these prejudices. They're there. Trust me. And all those billionaires I just named, they talk about it too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh my gosh, all these black people are billionaires and they're amazing, but neglect the struggles that they talk about all the time. They've gone through hell and back in this nation, and so can we. Ultimately, there are are a ton of things that the black community needs to address and get in order in this nation. This country is not as bad as we make it out to be, and there's a lot of change that can happen if we actually start to sit down, have more conversations, and really address all the things that I outlined in this video regarding the black community. If we fix the culture and how we live our daily lives, I think there would be tons of progress made within the black community.
You can do anything you put your mind to. Just freaking do it.